Hi, Jason. This is Sharon. I run a successful leadership development and executive coaching practice. And up until this point, it's very much sort of one-on-one interactions, face-to-face type of team coaching interactions, as well as meetings with learning and development and HR around their leadership capacity strategy. So I'm very much wondering, what does it mean for me now in my business? And I'm probably about 1 year into a current business, but 15 years in the industry. I'm wondering what's next for us on mobile. You know, is it possible to coach somebody on mobile? How do you sort of create that personal connection and sort of the transformational conversations that we have, both with our clients, literally one-on-one, but also in groups and also with learning and development and HR specialists. So what are your thoughts on that? It's sort of a tricky question for me, and I'm trying to tease it apart. So any help you have will be great. Thanks very much. Bye.
Okay, I love this question, Sharon. You're a personal coach. Your gating factor is your time, getting these people who you're coaching to come in and do a session with you. They're busy, you're busy, and it doesn't scale very well, right? It's a services-based industry, and it doesn't need to scale that well. But you have clients who are busy, and they want to interact, and you want to interact with them. Well, you have to go where your clients are, and this next generation, for them, it's very normal to have a relationship. And in fact, the entirety or the majority of the relationship exists in an iMessage, a text message, a chat room format. So much so that there's been a cluster of really cool companies, Scout, which is a travel app, which instead of telling you like, here's a bunch of options to go through a database, it just dumps you at a chat room with an expert. I'm an investor in that company, Scout Travel. Incredible. You go in, and I just say, what can I do with my daughter this weekend who's 5 years old? And they give me options. They also let me book stuff. It's really, really magical. Operator and Magic are two other similar services that will do anything for you. So you go in and say, I want a protein shake, and I want to get 20 grams of protein. And the next thing you know, they're going to get it for you. It's going to be wildly expensive. It's for the top 10% of society, maybe even the top 5%. But in your case, a services business, what a huge opportunity. Here's what I recommend. I recommend that you do a little bit of peer stuff, and you create content that would work for all of your clients. So let's say you have 20 clients. Well, you know that if you watched an incredible video 5 years ago, you bookmarked it in your Evernote of just Steve Jobs having a reflective moment about what should you do when things are going poorly. Great. It's a really great moment. If you send it to all 20 people on a BCC list and say, was thinking of you today, Steve Jobs had this really great talk about, hey, what to do when times aren't good, and we know most days in a startup company are more challenging and not good compared to like the high-fiving days, right? When Elon launched the Model X just last night. It's a 3-year journey to get that car out, and it was a tremendous, joyful, cathartic experience to see people driving away in their new Model X. And preceding that was 999 days of suffering and pain. So you really have to celebrate these things, and that's something you can do, right, is to encourage people. I know this because you can look at my face. I'm so svelte now, right? I look so good. I dropped so much weight. The way I did it was I put my trainer, my executive assistant, my wife, and my dietitian who I was working with, all on a text and all on an email thread. And it just created a fluidity of, hey, Team Jason, who's helping me get thin, everybody's on the same page. This is how much Jason lost this week. Oh, an email came in from his Fitbit, an email came in from his Weathing scale, and you have this group helping you. So I think for people, and I'm starting to do it with my founders, right? Because in a way I'm a coach. And so I've really worked with my founders on SMS, I have an email list for founders who I've invested in. And what's really great is at a certain point, you have a tipping point where people are helping each other, and you as a coach get credit for that. So I think bringing together 4 or 5 of your founders or your CEOs or people you're coaching and saying, hey, if you're interested, I'm thinking about having a dinner party. I'm thinking about having a working lunch to go over whatever the most difficult things we have in our personal life that are bleeding into our professional lives, or the most important thing in our professional lives that are taking value out of our personal lives. Who wants to opt into this dinner? Now you're working with 5 people. So in a 90-minute dinner, which you had to have anyway, you serviced 5 people. Well, I did this recently. I had 12 founders come together to talk about a blog post I wrote called Can You Get There on What You've Got, based on The Martian, the book by Andy Weir, which was a great episode of This Week in Startups you can look up. And it was magical because we spent 3 hours together, but I got to work with 12 companies. Well, those 3 hours, I would have normally done 3 companies an hour each. Now I got 4 times the leverage. Plus, they had already read my blog post, plus 250,000 people read the blog post. So doing content in group sessions are 2 of my big hacks right now in my life for making me more efficient. Text messaging, Slack or HIP chat room, chat rooms, SMS, mailing list, all very powerful. Good luck. Great question. Hey everybody, thanks again for listening to this Ask Jason episode brought to you by our friends at Pivotal. You can go see them at pivotal.io and at Pivotal on Twitter. They do a great job working with companies to build some of the most elite and awesome apps in the world. A lot of my good friends work over there, just super smart people. And we have a really deep, long-standing, multi-year relationship with them to put on conferences that help founders learn more about emerging topics. And Launch Mobile is happening for the second time. We call it Launch Mobile Wearables and IoT, Internet of Things. And we're doing that in conjunction with our friends at Pivotal. My friend Sandeep over there, Sunny, and I are co-hosting along with Peter Rojas, the founder of Gizmodo and Engadget. So the 3 of us are really looking for the things that capture our attention with our editorial team and getting them on stage so we can ask them the hard questions and really think about the future of wearables, the Internet of Things, mobile. It's really changing everything in the world because the 7 billion people on the planet, more than half of them are going to skip the desktop revolution and go directly to mobile. It's a really, really amazing sea change, paradigm change, and it's going to be huge for entrepreneurs. San Francisco, October 15th and 16th, founders come free to all my events. That's one of the things we're really committed to, is getting founders into these events for free. Why? Because when I was coming up as a kid from Brooklyn, nobody let me in their goddamn events. I was bitter about it. I always wondered what it was like in there when the elite people were drinking the champagne and why they didn't let me into their events. And I said, if I ever make it, I'm going to change the game. I'm going to let the up-and-comers into my event for free. I'm going to have the cool kids, the up-and-comers, the outsiders, the awkward ones. You know why? Because I was the outsider, the awkward one. People are like, oh my God, Jason, you're the man. You're hanging out with all these incredible people. You got this great circle of friends. It did not start that way for me. 15 years ago, people didn't know who Jason Calacanis was. I was lobby crashing. I was broke, and I was sitting in the lobby of events trying to sneak into events. Launch Mobile Wearables, you don't have to sneak in. You're my guest if you're a founder. Now, if you're a VC or a big company person, buy a goddamn ticket. Support the event. But this is our philosophy. We want founders to come for free. Go to launchmw.com, apply if you're a founder to come for free. And you know what? If I didn't have Pivotal as a partner sharing the huge bill, hundreds of thousands of dollars to put this event on, I couldn't offer that. So I just want to say personally thank you to my friends at Pivotal for helping me help founders get inside the tent and be insiders and not be held outside, not wondering what's going on in there. I'm just trying to just totally, in this last chapter of my career, you know, listen, I'm 44. I just want to shake things up a little bit, break some shit. That's what I do at my events, breaking stuff and letting those outsiders in. So come to launchmw.com, launchmw.com. All right, thank you.